time now to check in with the Access Sportsnet studio. It's the Jack in the Box halftime report.
All right, thank you, Billy and Stu. Big offensive quarter, James and Rob, for Portland.
Very. Especially in that second quarter, they came out with 36 points compared to the first quarter when they only had 22. But, there's a way to stop them. You can see it that they had to pressure them up, and Dame's getting ready to rock.
Yeah, we knew that dynamic duo would come to town. They're the two guys that are, doing the job. Lakers had a fast start, but AD having a tough time getting going after missing a game, and that's what's missing offensively. But defensively, they got to correct some things in the third quarter, try to slow Tucker, Covington, slow some of the other guys down.
Jack in the Box halftime report starts right after this. LeBron James looking to lead the Lakers against the Trailblazers for the third win of the season. First quarter, James with a steal, and LeBron was off to an early hot start. Lakers 14-5, building a lead here, James. It's KCP hot early. He had 3 threes in the first quarter.
Yeah, they were able to get a fast start, especially at the defensive end, capitalize, and then Pope hitting from both sides of the corner, but then Portland making a run back.
Yeah, Gary Trent Jr. was on fire. Here's Kyle Kuzma. Get the Lakers to 30-22 after one. Trent Jr. again, another three. Trailblazers now 39-35. Later on in the quarter, Rob, here's Schroder with a nice pass to LeBron for the lay-in.
The thing about Schroder, he dives to the hole quickly, so you got to pay attention. He lays that little layup for LeBron there for 2.
A little high pick and roll. Schroder AD. Schroder goes to the rack himself, gets another bucket, and that's where we stand at the half. Downtown Staples Center. Portland leads 58-54. They win the quarter 36-24. LeBron James leading the way offensively for the Lakers with 14 points on 6 of 9 from the field and 5 rebounds. More to come on the Jack in the Box halftime report. LeBron dropped a dozen points in the first quarter. Things looked great early, but the Lakers trail the Blazers by 4 at the break.
Lakers basketball is up as a starter versus off the bench. This, of course, is for the last 2 seasons. That mentality, guys, it's not something that is easy. You certainly have to find it, but it's something that Kuz has been able to do. Big shot. And he's taking full advantage of it.
First of all, it boils down to confidence. And we know Kuz got more confidence than everybody in this room. And so when you have confidence like that, it comes out in your game. And when you have your teammates backing you and saying, hey, you need to do this and this, it gives you more confidence, which we all know Kuz doesn't need. But it carries over to the court, and you can see it, the way he's playing the game, the way he's passing the basketball, the way he's having a little bit of joy. If you look at him now on the court, it seems like he has more joy. His body language is like a basketball player who's enjoying the moment. Sometimes winning the championship can take a load off the team.
No question. I mean, we all come into this league with talent. And the one thing that Kuz has learned to do, especially the last couple of years, he's learned to learn from the best. And he's learned to recognize where he is. The Lakers kept him while guys like Ball and Randall and Ingram left. We talked about how he's had to overcome some injuries. But I think the one thing that I like about him lately is that he's learned how to learn from LeBron and AD, recognize, okay, wait a minute, this is a whole new operation than what I came into. So, it's hard when you have talent and you just want to burst out. He kind of just took it easy, learned other aspects of the game. You were just talking about how you couldn't believe how he had 3 blocks in the game, learning to share the basketball. So, yeah. And now he sees what his potential really is going to be in the next couple of years if he just keeps on, playing the way he's playing.
And guys, this isn't something that just started this season. It's not something that developed in him over the short and off season. I think we started to see this growth from Kuz during the bubble, which really paid off. As you mentioned, he then becomes a champion. At what point in your career did the game start to slow down for you, and what that feels like? People don't always understand when you can read and react and play the game that way versus it coming so fast and just being a little bit more so. For one player, what is that feeling like? For me, it took about 2 to 3 seasons for me, because people don't understand when you come into this league, a lot of these guys come in, they are the man immediately. When you have to come in, you have to sit behind the man, and you sit there and you have to learn from there, and you have to understand they are the priority on this team. They get all the plays. Sometimes it's kind of hard to figure it out, because most guys who are drafted in the first round
were the man on their basketball team in college, so they're not used
Everyone
to being
was a star,
second. You know, so now you got to sit back and say, how do I figure this out? And sometimes some guys are smarter at figuring it out. Some guys it takes a little bit longer. And for Kuz, I think he's been that guy who's like, oh, I got it, and then he loses, and I got it and loses. It just hasn't been consistent because we see those games where he can step up and be the man, and we see those games like, oh, he looks like he's a little lost. But I think now that he has that championship, it's giving him that confidence to go out and just say, hell, man, I got my championship. I got my new contract. Let's just ball.
The game you've talked about it. You were the #1 pick.
I was #1 pick, came in with tons of confidence, and Kurt Rambis beat my ass in practice so bad, I had to go sit over there for a couple years and learn how to play the game because it's more than talent.
Yep.
It is, 82-game schedule. It's how you practice. It's a lot of stuff combined, and a power forward in college is not the same as a power forward in the NBA. So I had to learn how to become a small forward and wait my turn. So, yeah, I mean, and Kuz is doing the same thing. And then you get to a point where you start peaking around 27 years old is where you really start to kind of get it. You've been through some things, and then you got, what, Rob, 7, 8 good years left, so hopefully. Yep. So, hopefully. Yeah, it's perfect timing for him.
And Kuz is only 25.
Exactly.
But like everything, we want it like instant oatmeal these days. And for Kuz, the way his career started, always having the ball in his hand and being able to do what he did, to then LeBron James said, hello.
Yeah, it's weird because if you think about it, he steps into this league, they're just freelancing. Nobody's expecting them to win. So you can do what you need to do to try to just play basketball and enjoy the moment and not really think the game. You plan the game. And people don't understand that's two different things. There's a lot of people who can play this game, and there's a lot of people who can think this game, but can you put the two together and make a good product?
And in college, you get maybe one elite player, maybe once a week, twice a week. NBA, 3 or 4 times a week, you're going up against a Hall of Famer. So you don't get no time off. It makes you a man quickly.
Spoken like a true Hall of Famer. The Lakers and Blazers are about a half hour from tip-off here on Spectrum Sportsnet. Dennis Schroder, he's off to a fast start in L.A. Dennis, the Menace, is averaging 14-6 point play. 3 things that you were looking forward to in this game. And the Lakers have dominated in the last 2, Brez, but you're liking what you're seeing all around.
Yeah, do you remember opening night?
No.
Me neither. Yeah, definitely the Lakers have atoned since then. 2 strong victories, pinned 138 points on Dallas. And then against Minnesota last night, almost got there, 127 points. Good defense, though, against the T-Wolves, holding them to 91. A couple hustle stat categories I've liked in each game. Against Dallas, the big one we've talked about a little bit. They outscored them in second chance points, 35-0. That's the most second chance points for the Lakers since 1996. And last night, I like the fact that they held Minnesota to 17% shooting behind the arc. And D'Angelo Russell, former Laker, former All-Star, 4 points and 7 turnovers. So Lakers playing really good defense and hustling a lot. I like both those categories.
And guess who's a part of that on both ends? You're still driving the Kuz bus. Kuz was great again last night.
Yeah, he's been something special. We kind of got a hint of what he might shoot like during the regular season with his strong preseason, about 50% from three-point range. He has done more than that so far in only three regular season games, shooting about 62% from three-point range. And there's the chart right there. I think he likes the right corner, Allie. That's my scouting report right there. Also pretty comfy on the upper left side over there. Kuz really impressed by what he has been doing, and not just offensively. He had a tightest career high last night with 3 blocked shots. So good offense, good defense for Kuz. Just a reminder, he's a 33% career guy from behind the arc. It's not going to stay at 62%, that's for sure. But if he can stay in the 40 percentiles, that's a big step for him.
Good start, for sure. Lakers' opponents tonight, the Portland Trail Blazers, are coming in at 1-1, but they've struggled a bit to start the season.
Yeah, what's going on with them, Allie? Are they hungover from their strong bid to even secure a playoff spot in the bubble? Remember, they pretty much had to win all their games. But some strange stuff going on up there. Like you said, they are 1-1. Damian Lillard, 9 points in the opener. I mean, this guy who had 61 and 51 in back-to-back games in the bubble, just not shooting real well as a team. Carmelo Anthony, 33%. Gary Trent Jr., 31%. Their big offseason acquisition, Robert Covington, 30%. Granted, they've only played a couple games. These numbers will surely rise, but not the fastest start for the Blazers. They're kind of lucky they got that guy right there, C.J. McCollum, 44 points the other night. It helped them beat a very undermanned Houston team in overtime. So the Trailblazers not exactly off to a blazing start.
And of course, I like that.
Had to throw it in there.
Well done. Of
That's
course,
right.
no Carmelo Anthony again.
Not here.
Did not travel with the team. Well done, as always. Straight ahead on Access, Kyle Kuzma.